Hello, everybody. I'm your Judge Little Rugard, and this is last week's recap. In the matchup between Hellraisers and We Can't Loop, Hellraisers got a rude awakening for just how harsh the competition can be in Vigo's court. Are we ready to go?
Everybody's ready up. We're waiting on the killer. Actually, no, it's connecting now, yeah. So here's Chef Mitchell, and we see him rocking a Legion. Nevin 11-11, maybe getting healed. Miss Plop taking a hit. Getting everybody injured again would not be a bad play here, and would make it much easier to get players down quickly. And
True.
Big mistake there by Miss Plop. The pallets are gone from this area, if I'm not mistaken, too. So that does present a problem for the team. And that'll be third hook for Lone Wolf Legend. These guys still able to pull out that last gen. God, that's crazy. Even with all that pressure just now. I mean, We Can't Loop currently leading Hellraisers 22-16. But that is the last gen.
I think he was just hitting the driver on hook.
The snowball here at the end was just phenomenal. I mean, it was just phenomenal. Those traps just really screwed the team completely. But yeah, that was a fantastic showing by We Can't Loop, who is proving over and over again that, in fact, yes, they can.
This match ended up being a slaughter. Sample Text had almost 3 times as many points as Ford Dwight's one locker in this game.
This will be second hook if he gets caught. Getting caught on a wall could play out there and could get him caught right here around the corner, but he does manage to make the vault. And there is still the safety of this pallet right here. He is not going to drop it early, instead letting Bubba use his chainsaw. Bubba mind gaming, turning around, going the other way. And Jake is going to drop it at the last second, stunning Bubba, and he's not able to get the break on the pallet. I'm pretty sure he's going to go down at the window. Oh, and Bubba gets the tantrum kill. Look, for Psycho Mantis, I mean, but he is almost done with that gen. However, Freddy now has the ability to go in pressure and slug for the 4-man. Which is probably exactly what we're going to see. Freddy is coming your way. I wouldn't stay on that. I wouldn't do it. I would probably get off that generator. Oh! The game, and Sample Text is convicted of murder. Congratulations to Sample Text.
In today's trial, we have division rivals Port Mafia versus D-Hop. This match was a mess right from the very beginning, and Port Mafia came out with almost twice as many points as D-Hop.
Totems, and we do see a Michael Myers, which is, a map like this, bringing in Michael Myers could be tricky. He might even be able to get a pop on this generator, too. Ooh, but it does go down. Nia coming right back to it. Well done, Nia. Well played, madam. And the survivors capitalizing on that time as we see generators just about to pop. And that
Quad
is gonna
adrenaline
be
incoming,
pretty much
question mark?
game over. Quad adrenaline. Ooh, no, you wouldn't have quad adrenaline. You'd have a double. But at this point, it's really hard to say what the right call is because it's anyone's game. But she does decide to kill herself on hook. And we do see her finding Hatch immediately, so the survivor, she could be trying to go find Hatch, or she could kind of jettison her way to a gate right away. But, oh no, you're not going to be able to make that, I don't think. I don't think so. No, denied, and not going to be able to make it out. One person died, not too bad, but only 3 hooks secured by Freddy. Unfortunate, not enough, but definitely getting that 1 kill. That is going to mean that Port Mafia is convicted of murder.
We got division rivals Undying Alliance versus Siphon. This was a crushing and decisive victory for Siphon, who had a great first debut in Vigo's court.
Indeed, to see how they do. And we do see that TX Nightwolf has brought a doctor, which is a very tough killer, especially on a map like this. Another gen popping. These survivors not wasting any time, doing as many gens as possible, as quickly as possible. This is amazing, because as we said, this is one of the hardest maps for survivors. And they are just playing it so well and so strong. See, all the generators have popped, by the way. Holy crap. These survivors have wasted no time at all. This is trial number 3. ICMQLX still killing and now bringing a pig. Wasting their sprint burst. And we see Corporal Kamikaze getting that first hit right off of the totem. Not able to get the totem. They like to farm totems in this game, but they didn't get to. And almost dead-harding into nothing. But the pig going for the whiffed hit, unable to get it, but is able to get the down right there at the window. Ooh. Very nice play, an early down as True Tune gets the fast vault out, but it wasn't enough. And another generator popping. These survivors are definitely showing a strength. Now they have come back full force. They are not giving up easy. 6 minutes into the game, 4 generators completed. They're coming back strong in this game. On it, TX Nightwolf working on yet another box. Let's just see. Let's just see. Nope. Still not it.
Brutal.
Corporal Kamikaze. Brutal. Now in the chase with the pig. She's still crouching around. This is an interesting, weird play. Let him boop. Boop the snoot. Boop it. Just go ahead and boop it. No, he's just wasting his time. I think what we're seeing there is, again, kind of similar to the last one. And he does get the grab off of it, trying to bait the hit, but ends up getting the grab. What we were Undying Alliance 46 to Siphon's 98 in total after trial number 4, meaning Siphon is convicted of murder. Congratulations to Siphon on your first win of the season.
Anyway, today we have division rivals Loop Artists versus Flops. What can you really say about this game? This is what you expect when you face last season's finalists.
Killer, and I do question the motivation to bring him so early in the season, especially against a team we don't know much about. Anyway, 2 survivors dead now, trying to get a generator done. These guys are desperate to make some headway. Yeah, exactly. And that generator is nearly completed on Megs, and it should be popping any second now in like 3, 2, 1, pop. I guess the swing chains were slowing it down by a couple seconds. So yeah, he's going right back to it, and that's gonna be GG's, folks, I suspect. It's with a total of 11 frickin' hooks by Freddy. Jesus. Jesus. And 4 kills, of course, we saw. But, I mean, 11 hooks, dude. That's a great start. Bringing the score 85 to 58 in favor of Loop Artists, who are convicted of murder. Congratulations to Loop Artists on your win today.
Today's Vision rivals are PGS, also known as Pretty Good Squad, versus Death by Pallet.
But we do have a Legion, Legion being a fairly strong killer, and I believe Gothurgy is actually a Legion main.
PGS came out this week and showed that they are no longer last season's underdogs.
Area, but they maybe could have done something to get it down, but they kind of gens before friends, that one. These survivors are applying a lot of pressure, but Gothurgy showing his strength as a Legion, which we kind of expected. He is an expert Legion. He is a fantastic killer. And we do see him get the grab on Casper. Very nice play, and that'll be another basement hook for Gothurgy. And, of course, we see him get a total of 10 hooks, which is insane a number of hooks. That's just crazy. Ooh. And then, of course, 4 kills. So securing that 4K very nicely. And I think this is going to be GG as he's going to open the gate and they're going to get out. Oh, my goodness. The pain, the pain, the pain inside me. The killer inside me feels it so much. Oh, man. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we've been watching the Week 1 matchups, Division Rivals Pretty Good Squad versus Death by Pallets. I thought it would be a little bit closer than it was, but Pretty Good Squad definitely, oh, that's backwards. Hey, what did Poggy do in that? Okay, actually, it would be Pretty Good Squad convicted of murder. I am really dumb today. I am so sorry, everyone. I'm so dumb.
The match between CDM and Spine Chills was a meme fest riddled with penalties. Spine Chills has thus been removed and replaced by a deity. Their match will be redone in Week 3.
I don't really know what I can say about it other than that. But yeah, we do see a lot of interesting stuff. 2 generators getting done that game. Not a whole lot going on there, unfortunately for them. But we also saw 0 escapes and a total of 12 hooks. Now, technically, he didn't get 12 hooks, but because of the disconnect at the end, it does count that last one as a hook, giving him 4 kills, and Spine Chills getting 4 to 30 against CDM. Very interesting. Now CDM, of course, leading and defending that championship title so far. And we'll see how they did going into trial number 4. But
that's trial 3?
That went,
no, I'm making an executive decision and recalling this.
Recalling what?
Recalling this game.
Match?
I don't know what you mean.
I think he's saying we're just calling it over. There's no way they can come back.
Not only that, but they clearly think that this is a joke, and I don't take that very kindly.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are calling it quits here for this one, so I think that's going to be it for this. All right, folks, we're looking at Division Rivals today.
And last but not least, we have our match of the week. We overslept an Object of Depression. Game 1 was exciting, with Real Zappings taking the Twins and managing to get the 4K.
Playing the Twins, doing really well so far, but the survivors not making any waste, using as much of their time as possible to just complete generators. About to see another generator pop in just a moment. Oh, Salty Medic running right into the killer. Unlucky. FXCKZ trying to get the victor off of them. It is very hard to keep up with what's happening, but I think I kind of, like, there's just so much slugging and downing, and this is very standard, by the way. This is standard affair that I've seen with this killer, is that there's just a lot of slugging going on. And this can really prolong the game. I think this is why the game gets prolonged, is because of all the slugging. Good God, that's hard to look at. Okay, let's get off of that screen. The real Zappies now going in for the down. But, I mean, look, they're getting gens pretty much close to done. I mean, look how close that was. I mean, they could theoretically recover from this, at least in part. But if Bill goes down, that is going to be death hook for Bill, although Fang hasn't yet been hooked. And she could potentially find Hatch and get out. And she does use her Styptic agent, trying to get a little bit extra. She's going to maybe on purpose take a hit, but Victor overshooting it. This is a tough one, and she does go down, not being able to get her Styptic agent used, unfortunately. And that's going to mean, of course, that Object of Depression is currently in the lead going into the next trial. Trial
Game
number 2
is a very close match. Object of Depression giving Zed a couple extra hooks at the end, but still managing to get two escapes.
Effectively trying to get hits on everybody, maybe? No, stopping it first. As we see now, the killer is going to have a total of 5 hooks this game so far. And all generators now popping. Fantastic play by OOD, getting all the gens done, and only... Oh, the real Zappies could be the one to go down at the end here on second hook. Let's see how he does. Dead harding to the pallet for distance, but it wasn't enough. Going down as she drops it. That is unfortunate for the real Zappies, as we see probably Brizzo and Isoaked and Bleach going for the unhook and perhaps opening a gate at this very moment, which I think is exactly what we're seeing. And Legion stuck for a moment there, now back again. Ooh, trying to bait the hit, and does bait it, but then is going to go down right now. So before the first gen even pops. Trying to bait out a hit there, but not able to get it. Freaky JT able to get away. That was a missed decisive strike. And that is an insta-down.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Vigo's Court. I'm your judge, Little Rugard, and with me today is Counselor American Psycho to be joining us tonight. We've got an exciting match for you guys. You don't want to miss it. Let's see what's on the docket tonight.
Alrighty, so tonight we have Death by Pallets versus Siphon. Now, I don't know a whole lot about these teams. I'm glad to be here for Season 2. Thank you for the sweet introduction, Rugard. And I hope all of you are doing well, and we have some interesting games to look forward to.
So this game is going to be played on Groaning Storehouse with 156 square tiles, 9,984 meters squared, 7 hooks minimum, 12 hooks max, with 1 permagen, which is in that center building, if I remember correctly. Is that the center building? Wait, no.
Yes, it is the center building.
I've seen that map spawn without a gen in that center building, actually. Is that a permagen or is that not a permagen? I actually don't know. I hate this map, but I...
Yeah, I really want to... I honestly don't know, but let's talk about this map for a second, because this map, in my personal games, is the bane of my existence. If you know how to play that center building correctly, there are 2 windows, and it's the closest thing to an infinite that is still in DBD, as well as it is still possible to get double pallets at certain tiles, at certain junk tiles, and the map is just littered with all of these very strong tiles. This map is a very, very survivor-sided map, in my personal opinion, but it is not impossible to win on. So,
I don't disagree. I prefer to play Nurse on this map because Nurse don't care about no pallets or windows.
Hell yeah.
For sure. I feel that though. And Death by Pallets is the home team, so they are going to be killing first. Who is the killer? I cannot actually see their name. What is their killer? Dreget Facecam. They were their killer last time, if I remember correctly. Siphon, we played against personally last week. Undying Alliance did, and they pretty much rolled us. They rolled us pretty good that match. And if I remember correctly, Death by Pallets also lost their previous game. So I'm curious how this game is going to go. My money would be on Siphon, but you can't discount Death by Pallets. What do you think?
I really don't know, but from what you've just told me about Siphon and Death by Pallets, I'm gonna go ahead and say we're probably gonna have some pretty close matches, especially since we're switching roles every single time. So I'm really hoping we just have a whole lot of strong games to look forward to. But I think we should see Siphon come through.
Hello, everyone. We're going to be going over these rules and explaining how they work. So, 2 teams will go head-to-head, playing each role twice for a total of 4 trials. In play order is home team kills, survives, and then kills. In addition, teams get points in the trial for objectives, escapes, and hooks. And teams can't bring or use keys, iridescents, event items, or add-ons. Survivors can only bring 2 of a perk or item. Survivors can only bring yellow and brown items, and BP bonuses are awarded post-trial. Broken rules may result in penalties or restarts.
Right now in Streamlabs, Alrighty, everybody. So we have Death by Pallets against Siphon, and the map is on the Groaning Storehouse. And it looks like Dreget is going to be playing as Pig. Now, Pig is a very interesting killer. A lot of different people think Pig is a weak killer, but Pig is one of the only killers with a built-in slowdown in her pig traps, and with the ability to go undetectable, get surprise attacks, and with the manipulation of the terror radius when they release their crouch, things of that nature. I think that they can be a very strong killer in the right hands. So as of right now, it looks like Dreget is going to begin their first chase against Capsulized. It doesn't look like Dreget is going to keep chasing them, trying to pursue that first hit. Right now, the survivors have all of the pressure as long as they haven't been hit yet. And with how many pallets are on this map, it's really going to come down to catching a survivor out of position. Now, Calypst is playing a seawall, it looks like. And they have not dropped the pallet yet, which is something that I find very unusual, especially in a comp setting. In a lot of tiles and things of that nature, I've seen a lot of survivors drop that pallet right away. And they play the tile very, very safe. Just not to risk anything, everything like that. So, as of right now, no gens have popped. Dreget still has not gotten a hit. And it looks like Dreget is going to kick that generator, and 2 gens are gone. 2 gens are gone. No one has been hit. No one has been hooked. It looks like somebody just popped a skill check right there. And it looks like we have 2 survivors on a generator in the main building. But it looks like Dreget is going to begin chase here. This main building is somewhere that, personally, I never want to chase. I never want to chase any survivors there. Now, it looks like Pain is going to play the main building. And it looks like Pig is going to make the smarter choice and chase Spider-Man here. Even though there's no pallet, they still have a window to work with. And it does look like they're going to get that safe vault, with Dreget not getting a hit and not pursuing chase there. Which is a very strange thing. So with 2 gens left, and it looks like another one about to pop, Dreget still has not gotten a single hit. Oh, and the first hit of the game from Dreget this is absolutely insane. Dreget still has 4 hats that they haven't had a chance to use. There is no slowdown right now. So it looks like Dreget is going to pursue chasing Nancy here. And it looks like Nancy got caught on the wall, but they were able to spin him around in a circle there and jump into that locker with quick and quiet. Very, very smart. And the last generator pops. Holy smokes. This was an insanely fast game. Dreget didn't have a chance to use a single hat. These chases were insane. This Dreget didn't have a chance. Dreget didn't have a chance. And if this is how the first match is going to set the score, they might be in trouble. They might be in trouble. And it looks like Dreget is going to camp and try and secure that 1 kill. Now, as we've seen in a lot of competitive play, the survivors will usually cut their losses. This is Nancy's first hook. So, I would be willing to suggest and think that the survivors are just going to cut their losses and go. And especially against a killer with a stealth capability, I really think it would be detrimental to their success in not giving Dreget any more points if they just left. But it does not look like they are going to just leave. It looks like they are going to make a team play here with Fang trying to go for the save. Nancy just hit second state, and Fang gets hit. Fang gets hit. Nancy is still in second state. It looks like these survivors are going to pursue this save. Now, this can absolutely snowball into something bigger, but it does look like the survivors... Oh, it does look like they haven't given up yet. So, if these survivors can get Nancy off the hook without getting anyone else downed, this is painful for Dreget as a killer right now. It looks like they're going to go for the classic, and there's the yoink! The beautiful, beautiful yoink! And they're going to drop them. It looks like their face camping name actually fits their playstyle, and they knew exactly what to do here. With Dreget getting another hook. Nancy is still on second, but she got off, and she has the endurance status effect right now. Now, with Ace on that hook, it looks like they are going to heal Nancy up. Right now, they're getting a lot of points, healing each other up. So this could have been a smart play on their part, especially if they can successfully get all of the survivors out of the gate via body blocking and borrowed time saves and things of that nature. It does look like they are going to get the save. Nancy takes the hit. Dreget knows which target they need to hit, but is DS going to be a threat with Pain blocking Ace so that Dreget cannot pursue that down and get that slug? Now, it looks like Dreget is trying their absolute hardest to get around Fang right now. They get the slug on Ace. Now, the question is, are they going to pick them up? Because if they pick them up, they have the threat of D-strike, and they're going to put a hat on for points. And it does look like Nancy is going to pop the gate open and get healed by Spider-Man. And it does look like Dreget is playing this very, very smart and waiting out that D-strike. Now, I don't know if timers are banned in this setting, but I really hope they're counting right now, because if they mistime that, that is 4 survivors out of the gate. 4 survivors out of the gate. And it does look like Ace is going to keep trying to get over to the hook. And these survivors are still trying to get all 4 out. I don't know if they're going to get a play yet. They just got the gate open. Nancy is right there. Dreget is going to be forced to pick up Ace. Now, the question is, can they all take enough hits to prevent them from getting that hook? And it does look like they are going to get that hook. They're going to go for the insta-save. Looks like Dreget is going to get another hit. But it looks like they caught the invulnerability frames on Ace right there. Ace gets out of the match. It looks like Pain. And we only have 1 survivor left to get out, and it's Spider-Man. Now the question is, are they going to make the hatch before? And they do make the hatch. They make the hatch. absolutely insane and ballsy play on Siphon's part. That was painful, but very interesting to watch at the end game. What do you think of what we just saw there, Rugard?
That was about as much as I expect to see from a team like Siphon as far as survivors go. Very, very coordinated. When you were talking about like, oh, I think they should leave, I was like, no, this team's going to 100% have at least 1 or 2 borrowed times, and it looks like they had 1, and yeah, they played that perfectly. They probably practiced that specific scenario multiple times to make sure that they left with as many people as possible. Just outstanding coordination from them. The build on the pig, I like Typer Tamer. I don't prefer the box. I prefer actually adding a box to the map to make the RNG worse. I don't know how I feel about this build. Surveillance doesn't really work well without some kind, like, you need more than pop, like oppression, or at the very least, Dragon's Grip is not even competitive, I would say. But
I wholeheartedly agree. I play a lot of pig. Now, tampered timer and adding another box can absolutely be horrible with the correct RNG and the right sized map. But they didn't get any value out of it because they didn't get a hat on anyone when when the gens were still able to be done, and that is the only time those pig hats can really do much of anything. Now, what really surprised me is this is the first time I think I've seen camaraderie used on the survivor side, and I think it's kind of ironic because the killer's name is Dreget Facecamp, but I thought that was a very, very smart play, and that came in clutch at the end. That enabled them to get all of those survivors off the hook and out of the gate.
True. I have not seen camaraderie used before. That is very interesting to me. I guess it kind of... I don't know. I've never seen that before. That's so interesting.
I really think it helped with Nancy. Nancy was on the hook there, and I remember seeing that bar go yellow a little bit. And it seemed like they were struggling for a while there. And it didn't click until I just saw the build now. But that was very, very impressive on Siphon's part. This is the first team I've seen actually play the tile without the pallet down already.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the time, I only see comp survivors drop the pallet, and they'll play it if the killer doesn't break it. If the killer breaks it, they move on to the next one. And that's always been the consistency that I've seen in this setting. So I definitely think we have a very formidable team here after seeing that. I can only hope that their killer is just as skilled as their survivors.
Yeah, the pig just really struggled from the very beginning, not able to really commit to any chase for any amount of time. And honestly, most of these perks were just dead to them. That didn't get any save the best for last stacks. Dragon's Grip, I don't think is competitive. As soon as people know about Dragon's Grip, they either play around it or don't care. Store's right? All right.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that use of Dragon's Grip.
All right, everybody, this is your post-game review. That was Trial 1. We saw 5 gens get done and 4 escapes, just constantly juggling that last hook with the killer. Ended up getting 3 hooks for the pig, giving him a bit, but ending up with no kills at all. And that is going to be Siphon coming out with 30, Death by Pallets 7. And Siphon is taking the lead so far, doing a pretty good job so far, I would say, honestly. Just really impressive performance all the way around from them.
I really want to say that was almost a stomping ground. Dreget did have some good plays when it came to that face. Well, it wasn't a face camp, but that camp at the end, there wasn't much else they could do. But they made the right play as soon as they took the hit on another survivor, gave them the borrowed time hit, and then got that other survivor up on the hook. But I really don't think Pig would be a good killer for this map, especially with how many pallets there are. On a map like this, I would expect a powerhouse, like someone that can destroy pallets quick, like Bubba or Billy or even a nurse. Like you were saying, you only play nurse on this map because you hate it so much. And I think that a smarter decision and choice of killer really could have improved how well Death by Pallets performed in the killer role this game.
For sure. I don't prefer Pig on this map at all. There's not a lot of mobility. On a map like this, there's so much wide open area. I prefer a mobile killer to any degree. Nurse just because she negates all the powerful loops and jungle gyms for the most part, but I played Huntress on this map to a good degree. There's a couple of high geometry areas in the jungle gyms, but everything else tends to be pretty cleared out. And they just, anytime the Pig was near them, they scattered. And after committing to someone, everyone just went back to whatever gen they were being bothered from. Just complete coordination from Siphon's side. It even, especially that rescue attempt, was perfectly coordinated. Honestly, I'm really surprised they even got the grabbed on iComplex, just because from my experiences, grabs don't exist in this game anymore. But I am happy to be proved wrong. That was very, very interesting. And, oh yeah, they did see Dragon's Grip happen once, just they never got it to work. I think Dragon's Grip needs a buff. I think the timer needs to be longer personally, but it's also such a new perk. They don't have a lot of data with it, I would imagine. And it's fine having perks that be competitive. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And about the only time I've seen Dragon's Grip be used is honestly in public matches with synergy with Trail of Torment. Just because those perks kind of work very, very well together, because it punishes the survivor for getting on that generator, eliminating the undetectable, and it also gives the killer a new target, a one hit down, if they can get to them in time. Mm-hmm. But I don't really think that was the smartest play as far as killer's build.
Yeah, I agree. This is not a build I would play in a comp scene. I don't think on any killer. I don't Dragon's Grip, just that, like, they're notified about it. At that point, you're a 4-man comm. They're gonna be like, hey, this guy has Dragon's Grip, but if he ever kicks a gen, be a little bit wary of it. Maybe run away. Just tough.
Very, very
tough. Not to mention, like, Save the Best for Last. I don't think Pig gets the most value out of Save the Best for Last. Like, don't get me wrong, M1 killers, I can understand trying to play around Save the Best for Last, but this is a comp scene. They will catch on very quickly if you have Save the Best for Last, and then they're like, hey, Obsession, go be a brazen jerk to the killer and show off. And it's gonna be like, oh, just completely negate the perk in general. Just tough.
Absolutely. Now, in my experience, like, there are a lot of, like, really, really good Pig players that swear by Save the Best for Last, and there are many that say, it's pointless because the Pig's dash isn't that useful at a really, really high level just because of the speed and the noise notification, because as soon as a survivor hears that, they're running,
Mm-hmm.
So
for sure,
I personally think Save the Best for Last is a perk that is strongest on demo, but even then, they're in a comp setting, I don't even think I would put that on a Demogorgon to play in a comp game.
I need to interrupt real quick. So the team playing has not filled out their roster or done their player profile pictures. Yeah. So, I mean, it would literally, at this rate, with penalties, and the other team is enforcing the first penalty of -40, it would just get obscene. So we're talking about it behind the scenes. Give us just a moment.
All right.
No worries.
Well, we can like there's a plenty to break down in this game. No offense to Dreg at Face Camp, but this game went wrong for them just about every point. The fact that they even got those last 2 hooks was miraculous. I was fully expecting them to do a perfect save on the first try. I think they might have just been banking too much on the fact that, like we said, grabs don't really exist in this game. So the fact that he actually got the grab on the ace was just blew my mind entirely. And I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, if he, like you said, if he does have practice face camping that well, maybe he knows the timing that we don't. Maybe he has the secret tech. Actually, you know what? We should totally ask them that at the end if they have the secret timing tech about how to always get the perfect grab on a survivor. I need this in my life.
Absolutely.
Survivors bully me all the time with grabs.
Now, so, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, my personal matches, I'll get a little toxic, especially if a survivor's getting toxic with me or they've really, irked me. And I actually have a pretty cool clip. I think I posted it on my Twitter. Getting an insta down with my Billy and then getting a perfect yoink. And I thought the yoink was the coolest part of that because I don't know how many times I've gone for the grab and I'm stuck in the motion and the survivor's just running around me like, heh, can't catch me.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that was a unicorn in sight right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now-
honestly, Nurse, I feel like is the most common to get grabs with anymore because you can genuinely appear so quickly that they don't realize that you're even there, and even if they let up, it's like, oh, they let up like a second into you grabbing them, so it really doesn't matter. I have definitely got a fair share of joints on Nurse, but everyone else, no. What's up?
I can agree, and especially with if you throw Tinkerer on Nurse, which is like a very well-known perk that we've seen in this comp setting, like Tinkerer on Nurse is absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
For
and
sure.
I really think where this pig went wrong was at the early game. They went straight to defend that gen, and as soon as they realized they were chasing one survivor, they should have realized that they are spread out right now. They're spread out at that exact moment. There were 4 of them working on 4 different gens, or 3 gens even, with one of them stacking on another one, making the gem time 47 seconds. And those 2 gens were... And I think they only had 1 pallet drop even by the time 2 generators popped, which really goes to show how coordinated this group is, how well they know this map, and just how important it is for killers to get that early game pressure when they absolutely have nothing. All right. Now,
yeah,
I really think so. I really, I don't want to beat on this pig way too much, but we did get to see some like Newton's reactions here at the end when it came to the pig knowing exactly what to do when they were going for the save, getting that yoink, knowing which target to go for, knowing to wait for DS. They knew what they were doing in that scenario. Now, I really think that early game is what hurt them the most, and I really think if they switched out Dragon's Grip for maybe a perk like Enduring, or even another slowdown perk,
I don't know, Brutal Strength.
I really think it... even Brutal Strength. This map is just so... It is literally showered in pallets and vaults. It is so dangerous if you don't know the layout, if you don't know where the consistent tiles spawn. And I really think that they were just victim to a really, really coordinated team that knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew exactly how to run every single tile.
Yeah, I have definitely had my fair share of games on that map where there are, like you said, the double pallet. It's just like, how is this even a thing? Like there is such thing as a pallet quota that you have to fill in, but it's just like they're like right next to each other. It's like, what is fair about this? And I appreciate the fact there's a kickable door, so like you said, there is a really strong infinite there, but there's like some way to play it a little bit, depending on if you can like reverse the loop. But yeah, it's almost as strong as the old Crotus pen used to be. I'm really glad that they're reworking Crotus pen.
Okay, we're ready to go. They're taking the minus 40 penalty on the first match, but not going to penalize them for the rest, so we can continue. So now this match is -10 to 7.
All right, and we have Siphon up on Killer. That is a pretty tough deficit to come by, but Siphon has such a strong game. I imagine there is a chance that they could even come back from this.
I really want to agree with you. This is really going to come down to how strong Death by Pallets survivors are in their role, and how good Siphon is as a killer, if they're as good as a killer as they are a survivor. But again, it might come down to this map. Alrighty, and now to the killer rules.
All right, everyone, we're going to be looking at how the game works from the killer side. Now, killer points. Each survivor is worth a total of 6 points per survivor. First hook is 1 point, second is 2, and third is 3 points. Progressing is only 1 point. Killer bonus points. Every 5,000 blood points is 1 point. Getting to hatch first is also 1 point. A killer can only be used a total of 3 times in the season. Killers have a 150 millisecond ping limit. Also, should a reset occur, the killer and perks must remain the same. Bringing the wrong map is a forced reset, and minus 10 points. Bringing a killer a 4th time is 10 points off, and changing a build after is also 10 points. Not being on the roster is a 5 point and a reset.
And we are back with Death by Pallets versus the formidable Siphon, who just took a very heavy hit to their points. They're at negative 10 right now. Death by Pallets in the lead by 7. Death by Pallets is the home team tonight. And as of right now, Siphon is in the killer role. Now, as we load into this map, it does look like the killer is a Freddy. Now, what we know about Freddy is very good just about anywhere. And with us knowing, especially in a comp setting, that his puddles are stronger than his pallets, he can be very, very dangerous in loops if they know what they are doing. And it does look like Siphon is going to be in their first chase here. They are going to get hit by the pallet. And it looks like Freddy isn't going to break that pallet. And this is a very strong tile. This is something that I really would try to discourage Freddy from doing. Freddy really needs to be breaking these pallets. All of these tiles are interconnected. The survivors know where to go. And it looks like Freddy is going to pursue this chase. And it looks like Meg is going to be playing the ultimate infinite right now at the Z-wall, getting that hit. And it does look like Meg is going to jump right back into the tiles, the mess of tiles there. And it looks like Freddy is going to change targets, which they absolutely need to be doing right now. If survivors are stacking, if they are separating on all of these gens, that any chase that goes for too long is going to be dangerous. And it does look like Death by Pallets is going to go for the ankle breaker right there. Pallet camping a little bit, dropping that thing down. Something that we've seen a lot in comp. We have seen a lot of dropping the pallet first, playing the tile after. And it looks like Freddy is going to be pursuing a hit on Nia here. Nia just juked Freddy. Whether that's aim dressing or not, it does look like Nia gets the hit at the pallet, but does get the drop off. Now, if Freddy keeps that pallet up, that could bite him in the butt later. But it does look like Nia is going into the safest zone on the map, the main building. And it does look like all of the other survivors are doing gens. So with 2 people injured, 2 people at full health, and most likely doing gens, this could turn very, very bad, especially if Freddy doesn't get another down right now. It looks like Freddy is just pursuing hits on all of the survivors. Now, it does look like this Sibel might go down here because of that puddle. And they go down. So with the first down, it looks like Freddy's making... Freddy got great use out of his teleport, forcing a survivor off the gen. Just got the pickup. And no gens have popped, and it looks like this will be the first hook. And the first generator pops. And it looks like Freddy is going to kick that gen right there. With 2 people injured right now, 1 person at full health, 1 person on the hook, Freddy is in a good position, especially since 2 gens have been completed at this point. It does look like the survivors are going to heal and reset a little bit, which is going to be important if they're going to get the save before Sibel goes into second. It does look like Freddy is going to be playing the safe game right now, patrolling them, but this could be very dangerous to their game as well. if these survivors know that Freddy is playing the territory game right now and they are just working on generators, we could see 2 more, maybe even 3 more pop if all 3 of them get on a generator while Sibel hits struggle. Now, it does look like Freddy is going to fake the portal, the teleport there. Nia got off the gen, and that is the tile that Freddy did not break that pallet at. But it does look like Freddy is still going to be playing the camping game right there. And it does look like Sibel is going to hit second state. Now, if Freddy is forcing this survivor out of the game right now with the hard camp, which is a very valid tactic in this setting, especially on a map like this, and these survivors are going to reward Freddy by not completing generators while Sibel is struggling and about to die, this could be very, very painful. Very, very painful for the survivors. Now, it does look like they are not going to get the save, and they've only gotten 1 generator completed while Sibel was on the hook there, with another generator popping. Now, I do believe the last generator is being worked on, but Freddy just began chase against a Bunny Fang, I believe. It looks like they lost track of where they're at, and they are going to teleport to that generator that has progress, and they are going to get the down. Oh, juked. This wonderful purple-haired Nia just juked this Freddy, and it does look like Nia is going down. Now, with the last generator at about 75%, Freddy getting another hook. If Freddy plays the camping game and goes for that 2K, is that going to be enough for Siphon to get a comeback the next time they switch roles? It does look like Freddy is going to pursue another down, and if they get the last survivor, it could be a win, but it looks like they're going to pursue the hook, and Mega's going for the save. Now, neither gates have been started yet. Right now, the survivors really need to coordinate. They need to get the gates 99, and if they are going to get the save, they need to get the save. But at this point, with how well this Freddy has defended and protected the first hook and death, I don't know if it would be a good idea for these survivors, especially if they're asleep. And it does look like 1 is on the gate. Freddy is not going to pursue that. Mega's injured, and it looks like Verena is still hanging on that hook. Now, it does look like Nia just popped open the gate, and they might be trying to go for that save. Question is, can they get it? Can they get it without another extra body? And I really don't think they can. And it does look like they are going to cut their losses and leave. So, with a very interesting performance from Siphon and Death by Pallet, we see 2 survivors escape and 2 kills on Freddy's part. Now, if you want to take over and talk about their builds a little bit, Rugard.
Yeah, so standard build from Freddy, that is something I would run 100% of the time. I don't know why they went for that kind of playstyle. You don't get nearly as many points for hook progressions. Sure, you secured a 2K, but you only got 3 hooks that game. You got 4 hook progressions. That is not like, that's not the kind of way to like pull yourself out of a deficit. It gives you some points, but I don't expect that to give you a ton of points to bring you back from that penalty. I'm not really sure. I also don't know why they brought the pallet one. We've had discussions before. I don't feel like pallets are the way to go. Dream snares are the much better method, in my opinion. All right, Scores right.
Alrighty. I mean, as you said, like that play style really didn't help their deficit being at -10, with Death by Pallets now at 25. Now, I do want to say Death by Pallets rewarded Freddy while Sibel was on that hook, because they were, as soon as they saw that Freddy was staying there, they should have jumped on those. They should have swarmed those generators, got them done as fast as possible, gotten out. But it does look like Freddy was able to get that second death there.
All right, that was match 2 from Siphon and Dead versus Death by Pallet. Siphon being on the killer side this time. 5 gens end up getting completed, but only escaping with 2 survivors. They ended up getting 3 hooks that game after face camping 2 different survivors to the point of death and leaving with 2 kills in the end. Not an optimal way to get points, but as we see Siphon coming out with 9 points, with Death by Pallets coming out with 18, Death by Pallets is still in the lead. That did not pull the deficit back from where they needed to come from. And so we'll be going into Trial 3, same time, Siphon will be killing again. And I'm shocked at the turn of events here. They brought Freddy, but they didn't even utilize Freddy's play style of juggling and jumping between gens. I'm really confused as to this pick.
And especially when we look at their build, like, I really want to talk about how that didn't synergize with their gameplay style. They got it down and they stayed there. And the only benefit they got out of Ruin Undying was when they would fake their power. And the only way you can get true benefit out of Ruin Undying is switching targets, getting them off the generators, making sure they aren't popping right away, and pursuing the chases that you know you can win, which we just didn't see.
Yeah, for sure. Just they didn't pressure the gens nearly as much. The opting to face camp a survivor out of the game is just like, that's not a Freddy style move. Freddy is such a powerhouse killer. You get to, negate chases. You get to negate map pressure by teleporting constantly. And we didn't see much play from that at all. I'm kind of speechless. Normally this is a style of killer that just is absolutely punishing for survivors to go against, and just didn't really see that at all. Just and
we have seen Freddy's.
Oh yeah,
and we have seen Freddy stomp in this league. Season 1, we have seen it, and I really want to say, there were some firsts for me in that first match, but this second, I've never seen a killer focus on phase camping so early in the game in this league, and especially with such a powerful build like that. You get a noise proc with Tinkerer, you lose your terror radius. Now, if they're asleep, it doesn't matter. They're going to hear your lullaby. But, like, why? Why wouldn't you utilize those perks and get more out of them? Instead of faking that teleport, why wouldn't they fake the teleport and catch the survivor when they were jumping off of the generator thinking they were going to teleport? That very well-known mind game that everyone loves to hate in public matches.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is that this might be not a usual for them. I believe Siphon is new to the league here, and in other competitive environments, face camping a survivor out of the game isn't always a bad strat, depending on how good the team is or what they're doing. But that's not the case here. You do not get points for face camping a survivor. You get a hook and then 2 hook progressions if you face camp them out of the game. That is an abysmal amount of points, an absolutely abysmal amount of points. The points come from hooking survivors multiple times, getting in chases and such, denying them gen aggression. And we just didn't see that. Maybe they don't know quite how the point system works, in which case they might want to review how the scoring happens. But yeah, just face camping is not the way to go. You do not get points in this league for doing face camping. It's just like you said, like, there is a time to face camp, and there is a time that you need to be trying to pressure everyone. You like, if you leave the hook and you see someone going for it right in front of your face, hell yeah, go for a chase, down them, get them down. And if you have a hook and a slug, it's definitely a strong position to be in. If you were staying in that area, patrolling that area, that is 2 survivors that can't do anything. But we didn't see any of that. We saw a lot of hit and runs,
and then we saw Sibel going down. Now I don't know if this falls into a bigger a bigger picture game plan. Like maybe Siphon, they know they are so strong in the survivor role, they just wanted to play the killer role safe. Which, I mean, they're still not safe. They're a -1, but they didn't do absolutely terrible like we've seen some games be an absolute stomping towards, you know? So
Right. It just was not an optimal and efficient gameplay, especially for a Freddy who you can do so much with. The only other thing I could say on it is maybe they were trying. There's one instance where face camping can. Well, you don't even face camp. You just kind of proxy camp, and that's if you hook a survivor inside of a 3 or 4 gen area. So you got a hook there you can defend, but there's also survivors can't really aggress these generators too well either, just because there's no reason for you to leave. All of your assets are over there. You've got a hook survivor. You've got your gens that are uncompleted. But again, that wasn't the case. There's 1 gen nearby that hook, and that was it. So you're not really protecting that much either.
And we have seen how well some killers can strategize in creating those environments. And I don't know if it was this map or another Macmillan board, but I remember last season I saw the nastiest 3 gen I've ever seen in the first 4K I've ever seen in this league, personally. And I remember commentating it live and my mind was blown.
Yeah, it is entirely possible to do. I see chat talking about it a little bit. It is optimal for killers to try and get as many hooks out of a game as possible. That is where you get all your points from, for the most part. That is where you're going to get a majority of them. So going for that 12 hook, it's kind of legendary. You don't see it very often. It's very rare for you to get the full 12 hook, but it can happen. But yeah, just unfortunate turn of events. Maybe they kill again. Maybe they didn't know before. Now they know. Now we can hope. And
that's very possible.
I'm wondering what they're going to bring this time, because they brought Freddy. Like, that's not a kill you just throw away. That Freddy's a very powerful killer, and it looks like we got Wispy going to be killing this time, and it looks like we have a 2v1. I don't know if you guys knew this, but 2v1s are pretty tough to do. You have 3 gens to complete. And unless one of you is a god tier looper, you're probably going to die. This game was not intended for this kind of playstyle. I wouldn't mind having alternative playstyles. That would be interesting. I've always heard the concept floated around, like, having 7 survivors versus 2 killers. Honestly, that sounds like a nightmare to me, because I, for one, would just take Trapper and make my co-killer's life hell. But that's just, something I would like to do at some point.
And not just that, but think about how terrifying it would be to be chased in one direction by like a Freddy or a Spirit, and you run your way right into like a Tinker or Bubba. You know what I mean? That's 8 killer perks. That's 2 very powerful killers. That I could imagine the game just completely breaking at that point. It's a really cool concept, but...
Well, honestly, at that point, there's 2 killers go after 1 survivor. There are 6 survivors not in that chase, but... Just saying, like, I imagine it would be... Like, I understand they could be kind of brutal, because you could, have, the Bubba face camp and, make sure that someone sat out of the game, and have someone else aggress the gens. But I don't know, we don't have the game in that functionality, and so we can't really say for sure, but... I think it'd be fun to watch, at least for a couple times. If it's really lopsided, then you can tweak it or do away with it. But I would like alternative game styles for the game. It'd be pretty fun. I know we get a kick out of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of some of the Fog Whispers have recreated it before, where they've gone into a match and there were like 2 killers, like a Wraith and a Michael, or if I remember correctly, I think Otstarva posted a video like that once. And I mean, it would open a lot of doors, and it would add something that a lot of players have been asking for since it came out in 2016. More objectives, something that adds to the core gameplay, so it's not just holding M1, L1, RT the entire game.
And it seems like we are having some lobby issues, so I think now would be a good time to cut to an ad break, and we'll be right back in a moment.
But this is competition, so
I got you.
Right. And it seems like we are still working through lobby issues. And let's end with the double dose of ads. Did you guys know we have merch at vigoscourt.tv? That's right, everybody. We have your favorite teams with merch. You can get a shirt or sticker to support your favorite team. I'm getting Undying Alliance. American Psycho, what's your favorite team? What shirt would you get if you got one?
So, I have a lot of friends in this league, and they all kind of spiraled from Family of the Fog. And I see a lot of my friends in chat tonight, actually, from Pretty Good Fang to Corporal Kamikaze to Ninetales, and especially TX Nightwolf, Undying Alliance. Like, I think I've had the most interaction with him over time. So if I get a big old fat stimmy and I am not so broke, you can bet I will be repping my favorite teams on stream with all of you.
Excellent. Sounds like it's PGS or Undying Alliance. So you might just see this double Undying Alliance up here taking over. Oh, goodness. I mean, we got how many people? We got Sam, we got me, we got, possibly American Psycho. I don't know if any of you other teams want to come rep your teams up here, but feel free to. And other than that, we also have patreon.com/VigosCourt. You can support us there as well with a subscription. Helps us out on the back end. Make sure that we can keep this thing going as best as we can. And if you have any, business inquiries, what is the email? I keep forgetting the email. I need to get this memorized at some point.
league@vigoscourt.com.
league@vigoscourt.com. If you have any interest, coming up and hosting with us, or, maybe getting a team submitted, checking out, joining the league potentially. We could also join our Discord, !Discord, and come join the chat. Maybe apply for a role for a team. Join, be competitive with us. Let me stomp your face in as a survivor. I'm kidding. I can dream anyway. Man, I'm still kind of tired from that match I had earlier tonight. It was if you guys have not seen it, the Undying Alliance versus PGS game should be still up on Twitch if you want to go check it out. It was a blast. It was a back and forth battle the entire time. I would highly recommend watching it. And yeah, that's the shameless plug that I have.
Hell yeah. So I missed that match, unfortunately. I was running some errands, just getting off work. How did it go? Like, what are some highlights that you can tell me about it? Because like I said, I have so many friends in this league. Like, it really hurts when I have to watch like one of them lose or anything like that, because I just want them all to be kicking all of the tail.
No, I get that. It was a highly emotional game because almost everyone that was in the sound room, we all had an invested interest in the game in some way or another, knowing people that were playing or being on the team. We started out with me killing, and I managed to get a 4K. However, the end was brutal because me and Gothergy were making a beeline for the hatch. I barely got to the hatch in time. Gothergy dead-harding, almost making it in front of me. It was down to the wire for that game. And then the next game, my team came out. It was Survivors, TX Nightwolf, Kamikaze, and they played against a Wraith and managed to get a 4-man escape. However, next time around, Wraith came back again with Gothergy this time and 4K'd the team, if I remember correct. No, was it a 4K? I think it was a 4K. Yeah, they came out and 4K'd the team. And then at that point, the game was about 17 points. It wasn't a complete blowout. It was still really close, and I only got a 1K on Blight, so the ending score was almost 9 points difference. Really, really close game, down to the wire, honestly.
It
was
insane.
Super insane. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. PGS is a great team.
And especially when you know, like, how tight that, like, both of those teams are. Like, the history between the two. And, like, I know I watched Gothergy a lot last season and even commentated a lot of his killer games, Survivor games. Like, I know he's an insanely good killer. But hearing that he 4K'd with one of the weakest killers in the game is epic.
Let me clarify. The map is Hawkins. So it's actually a map where Wraith isn't a bad killer, in my opinion. He's actually got a lot of upside.
You're absolutely right.
It's kind of awkward because you still have to come out of stealth and everything, and it's still a bit again, we don't allow iridescent add-ons, so you don't get the silent bell. If you could do silent bell wraith on that map, oh, it would be atrocious to fight against. But as it stands, fairly balanced killer, I think. And Gothorgy had a really good performance of showing how to play the killer on that map, constantly juggling survivors, making mayhem, trying to disrupt as much of the the objectives as you can. Just really solid play, honestly. I was sweating going against PGS, and I think I was right to sweat because they were so good. A solid team. You might even say it's a pretty good team.
I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch it. Definitely.
Do we have any word on the lobby yet, or just not yet? I'm curious.
They're still working on it. I'm in the chat with them, and one person is having that type issues, and it's just being a pain. You know, Dead by Daylight being perfect, doing Dead by Daylight things.
We've done a pretty good job so far.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's a perfect game. There's never a complaint to be had. If there's a single complaint, I will argue with whoever has that complaint. You hear me?
Mood. Yeah, just I did not have NAT type issues until I did a lot of custom games, because all the games that we do are based out of custom games, and I did not realize that NAT issues existed because I think it's a console thing mainly. I haven't seen it on the PC side. It's just when console and PC interact, you can have those issues. You might have to correct me on that, but I only had NAT issues when I played the Xbox back in the day. I haven't had it since then.
Think so. As far as NAT issues go, I really think it's only an issue in Kill Your Friends, like you said, because it's peer-to-peer, and consoles can only tap out at I think it's 200 MBs a second or 300 MBs a second, depending on what console you're on. Whereas PC, you can get uncapped and you're wired in. So it's definitely a haywire. But speaking of Dead by Daylight problems, I have a topic I want to get your opinion on, Rugard.
Hit me. What you got?
What do you think of the new patch that is most likely coming down the road?
The new patch is in where Wraith gets permanent invisibility after a certain range, and Clown gets his reload speed buffed, and that's about all.
And the HUD and the movement changes.
Oh, the HUD is super weird. It is going to take a while to get used to. I understand the concept that the devs talked about. The current HUD setup was not intended to handle all these features, and so they wanted to give it an update. It hasn't really been updated since its inception for the most part, so I get where that is, and it sounds like the changes that they want to do with that HUD change is going to be really beneficial for us, allowing us to see different stats and different things a lot easier for viewing, and I do like that. I think it's going to be a positive change. As a killer, I'm just going to have to get used to it, because now, instead of looking in the two main spots, my eyes have to dart all over the screen to check the statuses.
I mean, it's perfect for streaming. I don't know why there's any complaints. It is absolutely perfect for streaming.
It's something that you don't see often enough from the devs, in my opinion, which is they really want to improve how this setup looks. And they said it's you may not like the changes, but we are going to bring some great things down the line from it, and I am stoked for what they have in store for us with their new UI. I am excited for that.
Now, I will say, it's just like you said, they've teased some things getting added, and we've seen some of the new animations, and we've heard some of the devs' opinions on moonwalking, jukes, aim dressing. We have talked about that with the devs. So I'm really, really hoping the new movement in the end game affects how character models and hitboxes work. Even though that's gonna hurt, Deer Huntress, I really feel like aim dressing is a huge rage-inducing problem in this game, playing as killer. But with the new UI, in my opinion, I absolutely hate it. I think it's something that you could expect out of an RPG game, or it's something like The Witcher. I've seen pieces that are more complicated, games that are single player games, and this is a multiplayer game. Everything's down at the bottom. What I really wish they would do is they'd just make it customizable. You can take each little thing that you want, put it on the screen where you want, and play the game, which we've seen that.
I think that is something that they do want to actually input at some point is customizable UI, which I would be down for that 100%. Because yeah, that would make everything a lot easier. You can compact it all in one area of the screen like it is like now, what we're used to. I'd be down for that entirely. As for you touched on the animation, I forgot about that. I've had some personal issues when I played the PTB with the animation. A lot of hits that I really feel like should have registered, not registering. But that could also just be an issue with them syncing up hitboxes probably. And it's a PTB, so there's going to be some kinks to work out, obviously. When do we have a deadline for when that is coming up?
They actually delayed it a week. I think it's dropping February 9th now instead of the 2nd.
All right, and we are guys, we are loading in. We're going to roll the rules for Survivor now.
All right, folks, we're going to be looking at how the Survivors side earns their points, and let's look at all their objective score points, counting down from 5 generators. 5 and 4 are worth 1 point each, 3 and 2 gens are worth 2 points each, and 1 is worth 3 points. 1 escape is worth 1 point, 2 escapes is worth 2 points, 3rd escape is worth 4 points, and the 4th escape a total of 5 points. Every 16,000 scored is worth 1 point. First to hatch also gets 1 point. Survivor penalties: bringing banned or limited items, perks, or add-ons is minus 10 points. Changing build after reset is also minus 10 points. And starting with the wrong skin or avatar or a non-listed roster player is minus 5 points as well. All right, folks, we're going to be looking at how the Survivor side earns.
I had to change. And welcome back. Right now, we are in the 3rd matchup with Death by Pallets home versus Siphon away. As a lot of you have found out, Siphon got hit by a very big penalty in the first match, and they were at negative 10 points. Right now, they are at negative 1, with Death by Pallets in the lead with 25 points. And it does look like we are going to see Brugard's killer for this map right now. Looks like we're going to see some Nurse. And it looks like they're going to stumble right onto the Survivors right then and there in a very strong area with Shaq to play around along with some high wall tiles. But it does look like Nurse isn't going to care. She's going to get that hit with the first hit and the first down that we've seen tonight in record time, just as the game has started. Now, it looks like one Survivor is off, getting ready to go for that save. And against a Nurse, that's very, very smart. When we see Thrilling getting a few out of there, we see that these Survivors are stacking on Jets right now. This Nurse really needs to be applying pressure there, but it does look like Nurse is going to catch Sibel over here, and they are going to pursue her since she was going for that rescue. That is 2 people out of the game until the other Survivors finish their gens or get off of the gens. And it does look like Nurse is going to get the hit on Sibel, and they are going to get Pogo on tap off the hook. No gens have popped right now. And as we've seen before, Nurse is a very mind gaming capable killer. Their counterplay is about breaking line of sight, and on the killer side, it's about analyzing patterns, knowing how each Survivor plays against the Nurse, if they're going to double back, if they're not going to double back, and things of that nature. It does look like Freakazoid is going to... correction, they're going to get hooked. With Nurse getting ready to get another target, and it looks like Hex Haunted Ground just got popped. Nurse is such a strong killer for this perk, especially in this setting. Being able to down and slug while this perk is active could absolutely snowball, with this being the first time I have seen no gens get completed and the Nurse right where she should be at top tier. And with another person on the hook, it looks like it is Casper's first hook. Sibel is still injured, and I do believe Haunted Ground is still up. And Sibel is in chase once again. Nurse is going to get hit by fatigue. All Sibel here has is an L-wall, T-wall, and I do not think it's going to be enough. With Nurse getting that down. And it does look like the other survivors are splitting up on gens. And Freakazoid hit their DS. That Nurse did not pay attention to that D-Striker. They didn't think they'd have it. It looks like Sibel is going to prevent the Nurse from getting a second hook and being in a very inopportune area against the Nurse. And I would expect some generators to be popping here very, very soon. But it does look like Nurse is again just going to say, screw your DS, you're getting on my hook. With Sibel heading to second stage right now. And it does look like the survivors finished center gen, making that area a very strong open area now. They don't have to worry about that generator. It's a very good generator to knock out strategically, and especially to prevent a 3-gen. And it does look like a second generator is going to pop as well, but this Nurse has a lot of pressure with having 4 hooks, the most hooks we've seen in a game so far on the killer's side tonight. Now, it does look like the Nurse got a hit on Zarina. Zarina just hit the Nurse with the Nurse's kryptonite, dead hard. And they broke line of sight while the other survivors are scattering, and it does look like Nurse is going to get that down on Zarina while the other survivors are working on a gen. So now we have 5 hooks and another gen getting regressed because the Nurse is so quick to get into another chase. Now it looks like Meg is going to try and play Shaq. They're going to fake the window, go for the juke, and out the door, going to slam the pallet while the Nurse is fatigued. And did they just try to dumb tech? What was that? Who? I'm speechless right now. I'm speechless. Meg is going down and getting on the hook. I don't know if that was a mistake or what exactly that was, but it looked like they were trying to wait for the Nurse's exhaustion to go away so they can lock that stun animation, get that rare pallet stun on the Nurse, and dumb tech the Nurse, but that didn't work out at all the way they wanted it to, with the Nurse getting their 6th hook. And it does look like another generator is going to pop. There are 2 left. This Nurse is still reveling in all of this pressure. They've gotten the most hooks that we've seen in any killer match tonight, and it looks like they aren't going to pursue chasing Sibel, and instead maybe heading back to the hook to try and pressure those 2 injured survivors down by Shaq. It does look like that's exactly what's going on. Nurse standing on the stairs, getting that slug on one of the survivors that went for that, and another one. This Nurse has no reason to go anywhere. Well, actually, there's 2 gens left. If the Nurse really wanted to play it safe, they probably could secure those 2 kills, and the other 2 survivors could finish those gens. But as of right now, with how strong this Nurse is, how well they are playing, I really wouldn't put it past them to go for that 4K. It does look like another generator is about to pop. With 1 generator left, 2 people in the basement, and 1 just died. This could very well be a 12-hook game. And it does look like Zarina is going to get that unicorn stun on the Nurse. They are going to soft vault that pallet. And it looks like Nurse thought that they were home W going on. But it looks like they found another target. They got him down. It looks like Casper got up with Unbreakable. Or they got healed. I can't really tell at this moment. But it does look like they are not chasing Sibel, and they're going to hook this knee instead, making that 8 hooks. Or wait a second, what did we just see?
That was Casper getting unhooked. That was the second hook they were on. They still had DS after the unhook.
Thank you. I think I looked away to see what chat said for like 1 second, and I missed something huge. So it looks like Nurse getting hit by that D-strike again. And D-Strike, I mean, the nurse is the one killer that I really feel like that perk does not matter. As soon as you get hit by it, your 3 or 6 seconds is up. You just go back down and you down them. And it does look like the nurse did just that, and they are pursuing to throw Zarina on the hook there. We have one survivor injured, another on a gen at full health. Correction, one injured on a gen. And it does look like they're going to get off that hook, try and break line of sight, going over to one of these high tile walls. And at this point, they are just holding W. They're going forward. The more distance you get on a nurse, the longer you're going to make that chase go. And when the nurse catches up, the mind game of where are they? What wall are they behind? And it does look like an adrenaline play, I want to say. It's very, very hard to tell. But it looks like Casper got up a full health state and then got injured and then downed again.
That did look like adrenaline, yes.
Awesome. Alrighty, so it does look like the nurse is going to secure that second kill. We still have one survivor injured and one at full health. This nurse is playing excellently, and if they can get the slug on the injured person and get that last person down, this absolutely is going to be a 4K, but it does look like they are going to get that health state back up. Now, I really want to say a lot of the pressure that the killer's gotten this match has been from use of the basement. And Nurse is one of those killers. You can go away and go right back to it and still pressure anyone coming up those stairs. You can teleport straight down into the basement. It does look like they are going to pop the gate. And it looks like Zarina is actually turning away, maybe going to the other gate. Try and get those points. Which could very well be dangerous. But we will see if the nurse ensues chase. Does look like Freakazoid is going to get the hatch. Slam a pallet to get that taunt going. And what an excellent performance we saw from Wispy. Let's hear your thoughts on the builds and what you saw, Rugard.
I gotta say, I think Wispy is 100% a nurse main, judging by that play, just constantly aggressively downing them, playing very much into the hook mentality. I'm surprised they didn't try and slug as much to try and keep the aggression going, because usually, like, when I play nurse, I honestly just slug the first person I come across and then go after someone else and try and keep the pressure that way. Just because, as we saw, gens were just getting finished left and right constantly. I do agree that eating the decisive strike is almost always correct with nurse, just because you don't care. They don't get far enough away. You just blink to them and you down them again. Decisive strike is just, a free extra 10 seconds of chase, in my opinion, against nurse. Solid play from the survivor side. Balancing and playing to their strengths, playing as coordinated as you can against a nurse. And again, that adrenaline play was pretty clutch, because they would have been death hook, just gone, and that would have given the nurse a chance to go after one last survivor and maybe get a 3K. And instead, they had to down that person, get them hooked, and they couldn't quite find that last survivor to try and go for a 3 or 4K. Just really, really tightly played game. Strong nurse. Bill, I love the haunted ground. That was very spicy. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was very spicy.
Scores right? All right.
And it does look like the final score after that match is going to be Siphon at 22 and Death by Pallet at 44.
All right, well, let's hit you with the post game. That was match 3. With Siphon playing nurse against Death by Pallet survivors. And that, oh my goodness, what do you say about that game? That game was such a treat and back and forth, such great nurse play. And with that, we had 5 gens getting done. No real aggression on the gens that game, just jamming them out. We had 2 people escape. We had a total of 3 hooks? That's not right. I think we had 10 hooks that game. I don't know about that, but we had 10 hooks that game. We had a mass amount of points with 2 survivors ending up dead. Oh, it's showing. Oh, that was trial. Okay. Okay, that was trial 2. That our bad, guys. That ignore that score. Ignore that score. Siphon, I believe, came out on top with the points. I think Siphon came out on top with points in that game, getting 10. All right, we're gonna rerun that.
Hang on. This is bugging. I'm jumping in. We had a technical issue that was showing trial number 2, and I'm gonna roll it back again. I think it'll be right this time. Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so we got, it is 5 gens. That is correct. We had 2 escapes. That was also correct. 1 hatch escape, might add. And we got, that's correct, 10 hooks. Wispy just absolutely crushing the hook count that game with 2 kills. Don't let the kills fool you. That was an insane amount of hooks. Siphon coming out with 23.
That is Kopi, not Wispy, to be clear.
Oh, that's Kopi, not Wispy? Okay. Good to know. With Death by Pallets still maintaining their lead even after such a strong showing from Siphon's nurse. And going into game 4, this is not looking too good for Siphon. That point disadvantage still showing quite a bit. Unfortunate penalties.
It's very disheartening, especially from that first match really setting the tone of how strong they are in the survivor role and absolutely crushing that pig. I almost wanted to say from that performance alone, I really expected them to have a comeback. But that excellent gameplay from Kopi was so much fun to watch. They knew exactly where to go, who to pressure, what to do, and they got full range out of their perks. That may have been the best nurse match I've seen since I started commentating for Vigos.
By far, that was... I don't think we've seen a nurse until this game. I think this is the first nurse that has shown up this season so far. And dear goodness, what a nurse. That is what I call a nightmare nurse. If you face that in pubs, just bye. Done. Toast. Gone. Just absolutely aggressive. The survivors really did a good job handling just the sheer amount of pressure that this nurse put on them. They really didn't get too much out of a chase. Just they like you said, they got that first gen in the center done, and then just spread out from there. And oof. Yeah, just ate both decisive strikes and still managed to get 10 hooks out. This nurse was really, really close to getting a 4K.
Very, very close. I really think if those survivors didn't take care of that center gen right away, which was the smart play to do, this would have been a 4K. I really think that gen strategically helped them spread out later, which is something that really, really helps in the big picture against a really good nurse like this. Spreading out and survivors just going for distance, breaking line of sight, going for that little mind game, throwing them off. Am I going to double back? Am I not going to double back? Mm-hmm. And it was just great gameplay from both sides.
For sure, everyone's commenting in the chat about just how cracked the nurse gameplay was, and for sure, just seeing just how precise they were playing. Oh, it looks like no lobby issues this time. I think we're going to be ready to get in on a decent time. We have Draget Facecamp coming back again. I imagine they probably won't be playing Pig for this game. I'm curious to see what they pick up against them. They don't have to hold out too much, I would say, though. To be fair, from first game, Siphon is an oppressively good survivor team, so I wouldn't discount them just yet. I think they have a shot to come back from this lead or this deficit.
In the last match, still?
Yeah, Siphon is surviving. You saw the first game; they got 30 points out of their first game. The penalty set them back, but I think Siphon can bring this back 100%. I don't think they're out for the count yet.
It's definitely. If they do end up coming back, I really think it's going to be close. I really think it's going to be close. And I really think that last Nurse game with Siphon, stomping with Nurse, I really think that helped a lot.
It did, but 2 survivors escaping does give the survivor team quite a good amount of points themselves. If they had denied even 1 survivor leaving, it would be probably, instead of being a 22-point game, it'd probably be closer to like a 15, maybe even 14-point game difference. Survivors escaping is really where they get a lot of their points from. Gens, I believe, are 1 point for the first 2 and then going on from there, but the escapes are really where it comes out to. Got a ton of hooks that match. If they secured 1 more kill, it would definitely be a much closer game right now. And it looks like survivors are all ready to go and everything. How would you say the Nancy's name? Capillicid? Copalized?
What I was wondering too. I just gave up on trying to pronounce copalized and or copalist. Like I said, I don't know how to say it, and I was just addressing them by the character model.
For sure, it's hard. I am horrible at pronunciation, so some of these guys' names, I kept saying Kieran wrong for the first 2 streams until they finally straightened me out. Now I remember that name, but so many other survivors' names to remember each time. At least Triget Facecamp is easy to pronounce.
It's easy to remember too. You never forget Facecamp.
All right, it looks like we are loading in, so this will be the final look at the rules as we get ready.
Hello everyone, we're going to be going over these rules and explaining how they work. So, 2 teams will go head-to-head, playing each role twice for a total of 4 trials. In play order is home team kills, survives, and then kills. In addition, teams get points in the trial for objectives, escapes, and hooks. And teams can't bring or use keys, iridescents, event items, or add-ons. Survivors can only bring 2 of a perk or item. Survivors can only bring yellow and brown items, and BP bonuses are awarded post-trial. Broken rules may result in penalties or restarts.
And we are back for the final match in our matchup of Death by Pallets, the home team versus Siphon. Now, we are going back to the same roles we started in when we started tonight, with Siphon in the survivor role and Death by Pallets with the same in the same killer player playing killer on Groaning Storehouse. And these survivors, they knew what they were doing. For the first time since I've been commentating, I saw survivors actually playing pallets instead of just playing them safe. And things of that nature. They definitely know what they're doing. It does look like Dreget is going to be playing Poggy's favorite killer, the Hag. And as he would say, it looks like they have started spreading out their web. They are not going to initiate that first chase. So it looks like Dreget might know what they're doing with this killer. Going for that hit and run. It does look like we are seeing some benefit from Hex Ruin right away as we scroll through survivors here. And it does look like the first trap is tripped, but Dreget is not able to get that hit, but they are going to pursue chasing Ace at this seawall here. Ace is going to get the vault. It looks like Dreget is going to... Well, they were going to pursue the outside wall, but instead they're going to spread out their web a little bit more. And Ace just triggered another trap. It looks like Hag is going to go for this chase, try and get that down. It really looks like Ace is trying to be that distraction right now. He plays the pallet safe. Hag is going to break it. Those seawalls are absolutely disastrous for a killer that moves at 110% movement speed. And the one place I would never, ever chase a survivor is the main building, but the Hag does have the benefit of having traps. They can cut off different, like the 2 vaults that really make that main building so strong. But it does look like they're going to break chase. They're going to try and pursue Kate here at this L wall T wall, while the other survivors are spreading out. And it does look like the Hag is going to break away from that L wall T wall, and they're going to continue to try and play this hit and run game, getting benefit from Ruin, getting benefit from survivor stepping over them. And the Hag gets the first hit on Ace. And we see Thanophobia coming into play on that first hit off of Ace. And they're going to switch targets to Nancy over here. Nancy has a seawall, but it is forcing her off that gen, creating more gen pressure with Ruin coming into play. They have not cleansed Ruin, and I just realized I must have missed 3 generators popping. There are only 2 generators left. I apologize, but holy smokes, there are only 2 generators left, and Dreget Face Camp has no hooks. Absolutely no hooks. And with these survivors having the main building in easy access to that gen they are working on, it's going to be very, very difficult for this hag to get any hits, secure any downs even. And these survivors have shown that they are coordinated. Another generator pops as the hag's bloodlust kicks in. And there's only one left. Dreget doesn't have a single hook. I really think, Rugard, you called it. I really think you called it.
This is tough. They only have 2 traps on the ground, and there's the last gen. Oh, no.
We do see adrenaline coming into play, but no one was injured.
I'm not
They
sure,
get
but I don't think the score is updating.
And it does look like Dreget is going to get the hit on Kate. Kate's going to get the pallet down. Now, this junk tile is fairly strong. Fairly strong, especially against a 110 movement speed killer. And as we just saw, those double pallets that no one has seen since 2016, 2017. And it does look like they're going to be getting the gates up. And the question is if they will get both open and get the exit open at this point. I really find it unlikely that Dreget is going to get this down, and especially with teammates coming in for the body block. It looks like Nancy is playing this smart, and the only way I can see Dreget getting this down on Kate is if Bloodlust kicks in and they get ahead of that Nancy. At this point, they're playing very, very well, trying to funnel her in tight spaces so that she cannot get around to get that hit. And it does look like all of the survivors are going to get out. It does look like Hag is going to get a little slaps on the butt there, saying good game, getting him out the door. And it looks like Spider-Man is even healing at the gate, trying to get those last second points before escaping. And it does look like Nancy is still in looking for Hatch, possibly. And it does look like Nancy is the last one left. Is she going to find the Hatch or end up having to go out the gate? And it does look like they are going to have to go out the gate. This was a painful game to watch, ladies and gentlemen. Dreget Face Camp got no hooks. No hooks. And now I'm going to turn it over to Rugard. What did you think of that game?
I think the Hag chased way, way too much, and they never had more than 3 or 4 traps down at any given time. Most of that game was spent with maybe 2 traps at most. They needed to stop and reset their traps. Also, to the survivors' benefit, they had perfect coordination when they saw the trap down, like that ace. They left chase, threw down a trap, and immediately the ace just went and popped it. The teleports were not properly timed to even get close to a survivor popping it. They got no benefit out of Thanatophobia. They had 2 hits the entire time. They didn't get any use out of Devour Hope. Ruin Undying, they got a little bit of value of. They were able to oppress the gens a little bit. Just really crushing. Because I play Hag. Poggy plays. I know Poggy's crying internally right now. I feel so bad for the Hag.
I feel like Poggy has his mic muted right now, and he's just screaming.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm not here.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, score is right. So let's get that post-game interview going. Or not post-game interview. Post-game rundown real quick. All right. That was match 4 of Death by Pallets versus Siphon you just saw. And what a match it was today. Absolute roller coaster every step of the way. In that match, we had all 5 gens getting done in Trial 4. And there were 4 escapes that time. All 4 survivors getting out. No hooks at all on the Hag side. Just absolute crushing. And of course, with no hooks, you're not going to get any kills. Just crushing. And there you have it. Siphon coming out on top with 49-45. Siphon made the comeback, and you are convicted of murder. Congrats. Just absolutely crushing deficit from those penalties. And Siphon straight up just stood to the challenge and said, yeah, no problem. We got this. And just mounted. That was possibly the biggest comeback we're going to see all season. I can't imagine a comeback bigger than what Siphon just did. That was impressive. Oh my goodness.
Straight up slaughter. My mind is blown right now. It looks like it did come down close, but it's just like you said, they came out on top. And my God, that is insane. Going for -10 in match 2, 49, topping Death by Pallets at 45. That is insane.
Do we have anybody coming in for interview just yet? Anyone from Death by Pallets or Siphon by chance? I would like to talk to them personally. Oh my goodness, there's so many questions to ask. This game was wild from the beginning to the end. The Siphon's coordination on the survivor side is just top notch. I can only imagine what their comms sound like. You know what? They might even just be talking, current events over comms, just be chilling in the background practically for all I know. I don't know. These guys handled the killers so smoothly. Just impressive. Just genuinely impressive. Man. And again, coming back from a 40 points penalty and still managing to mount a comeback after that, I'm going to end up sounding like I'm repeating myself, but I just can't get over it. And the way they played the hag constantly, if they saw a trap go down, immediately triggering it as soon as the hag walked away, just constantly harassing the hag. It felt similar to what we saw the other day, where the survivors were really juggling the killer more than the killer was juggling the survivor. So many things.
They were so coordinated, and I was so focused on Chase. Like, I was really, really hoping Dreggett was going to be able to get that down. Like, I didn't even notice that 3 gens were gone. And to me, I was sucking in. I was thinking, okay, Dreggett's trying to get some pressure. He's switching targets. They're getting off the gens. And then just coming to the realization that 3 are gone. There's 2 left. You have no pressure right now is insane.
Mm-hmm. And for Hag, you expect to, lose a couple of gens in the beginning, maybe because you're setting up your web on one side, you're setting up your 3 gen, right? And they had maybe 4 traps at most before they just jumped into a chase, lost 2 traps, immediately didn't get any hits out of it. And it was a slaughter from there, just downhill the entire way.
And it's just like Poggy said, says, I remember the first time I was commentating and Poggy saw that someone was playing Hag, and you could just hear the excitement in his voice. And his excitement whenever he sees Hag, I can only imagine he's just shaking his head right now. And as you said, and he says, spreading out their web, we really didn't see the Hag get a chance to spread out that web much further than 2 or 3 traps. These survivors were very observant. They knew what was going on.
Yeah, for sure. And also, again, on the Hag side, one of their add-ons kind of surprised me a bit. I genuinely don't see this very often. It was the what's the name of it? It increases the effective time of when a trap can be activated. And I don't really know if I agree with that one. It doesn't. I have never really gotten any use out of anything similar to that before. Have you? I don't understand it personally.
I'm going to be honest. I am insanely selective with killers, and I am absolutely horrible with Hag. I don't know a whole lot about her. And you can ask Poggy. Poggy actually redeemed channel points for me one time and had me play her. And it was just, I'm sure it was just head shakes. But
yeah, what is it? Bloodied Mud. You don't want the effective range of the trap being larger, because that just makes it easier for the survivors to trip and not be in range of swinging at. Just tough to watch. And we have someone in here. This is from Siphon. This is Complex. Let me see if you.
We do want to interview Death by Pallets first, correct?
If we can get anybody in. I haven't heard anything.
They may not be making it. I'm not sure.
Well, in the meantime, we can talk to Complex. Complex, how are you? How do you? What do you like? I don't even know what to start with. You guys, that was an insane performance on your guys' part. How do you guys feel like just the Survivor games? Because how well you handled their killer, especially that coordinated escape. How do you feel about your team now? Like after that showing?
I feel like we handled it pretty well. I mean, obviously with the point reduction, we couldn't make any single mistake, and that's exactly what we did. We played it perfectly to where we could, get a flawless game, and I appreciate them for listening and all that stuff. So yeah.
So curious on the Freddy choice. We saw you guys play Freddy as killer.
Yeah.
What was the why the face cam? What was the strategy there? I'm curious.
Okay, so my initial idea was to get rid of somebody as quickly as possible. So it's like this. If you get rid of somebody as quickly as possible, there's less gens to pressure the 4 survivors. So I was basically like I had to camp because Freddy has overall really good map pressure and overall really good 1v1. So I had to use Freddy in order to for at least to make a decent comeback, I guess, as you could say. And I mean the face cam, like it was nothing personal. You do what you got to do in a competitive scene. And I feel like the face cam was a very well, like, I think the face cam was okay. I just think when I camped the second guy, I think I should have pressured the gens more instead of the camping, because I lost all my pressure once I camped that one guy, the second guy.
Hey, Complex, hold on 1 second. We do have Casper in here, so we're gonna go ahead and go to Casper real quick and come right back to you.
I can mute myself. It's fine. Is that cool?
Yeah, just hang tight.
Yeah.
Casper, are you there?
My bad, I'm always forgetting the unmute. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, we can hear you. Yeah. So, tell us, you guys obviously have a good Survivor squad, but your killer was really, really struggling this time around.
Dre's more of a survivor main than he is a killer main, so he's just trying the best he can at this point. But we're trying to find I'm trying to find a killer main for the team at the moment, and it's just kind of difficult. And I thought I lined one up, but at last minute, I don't know what happened, kind of just bailed and kicked himself off the team. So I don't know why, but yeah. So I'm trying to find a new killer, but I'm definitely want to say, Siphon, I'm sorry about the penalties, dude. I didn't want to be a total asshole and accept them for however many. I just the one time was fine.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been 90 points. So shout out to you for not.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to be a total asshole, but at the same time, everybody needs to needs to get their act together, a little bit, and kind of do their part. I feel.
Yeah, I think on their end there might have been a little bit of mix up, but I mean they didn't complain about the penalties either. So
they're a good team, so I didn't think they would. Really,
yeah, they were very respectful. Y'all were all very respectful handling all this. So it was I commend all of you, indeed.
Now,
yeah, I just wanted to do only just one penalty or whatever, fucking, because I still wanted to give them a good chance for a good match, and didn't want to fucking wipe away teams based on fucking penalties. But at the same time, nobody, people need to not cause the penalty in the first place.
Yeah, of course.
now I do have a question for you, Casper. You were on Death by Pallets, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you explain to us what that Meg was doing when they dropped Shack Pallet and it looked like they went for that dumb tech?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I can't really speak for Pogo's end, and he fucking went to bed after we got done with our second Survivor game. I was getting tired too, but I was watching the stream, and it's you guys said you wanted to hear from Death by Pallets and Siphon, so I was like, well, fucking suck it up and go and what's up and stuff.
For sure. And you guys showed that you are a fairly adept and strong Survivor squad. You're able to, when you saw that they were going to face camp in the Freddy match, you guys, not immediately, but you guys did adapt, and you're like, okay, let's just go bang out the gens, and you did that well. And then against the nurse game, let's be honest, Kopi was an insane nurse, and you guys still handled it fairly well. Still spreading out, handling the gens as best you could. So very strong Survivor squad. I hope you guys are able to, find a killer, because you guys, I think you guys are a fantastic team.
I definitely appreciate the compliment.
But yeah, just tough matches tonight. And
they were fun. I especially enjoyed the nurse match. Like, even though I was kind of sad about getting fucked on the haunted ground, but it happens, man.
No one sees it coming, just like no one sees NOED. Just haunted ground, NOED, just spice of life. But
if you wanna hold around, Casper, we're gonna hear from Kopi real quick before we go back to Complex. So I'm gonna drag Kopi in here. Kopi, you there? Kopi?
Hey, yo, Kofi.
Their mic is coming up, but nothing. I don't hear anything.
I hear you.
Yeah, it sounds like the stream's coming through, not the mic input. Oh, maybe they'll come back in a second. I do not know.
My
Complex,
teammates
if you want to pick up where we left off.
I was about to say my teammates are something else. They're special. What were we last talking about? I left for a second.
We were talking about your guys' killer gameplay coming back, not getting, unsettled, still making a stance and trying to come back. And what do you after seeing you guys play like that, are there still things that you guys think you can improve on and work on? Are there things you guys think you did really well you want to shout out? I'm curious.
Yeah, shout out to Kobe. Kobe's a really, amazing nurse. I'm very impressed in how he played. In terms of me, I don't know. Totems aren't my thing when it comes to playing killer, so that's why I'm gonna bring totems. Ruining and Undying went away so fast. Like I had no gen pressures. I already lost the game, so that's why my initial idea was to place camp the first person and get them out of the game as quickly as possible, and then try to pressure gens while the 3 survivors left at the same time. So yeah, and then avoid DS, Unbreakable, all that annoying stuff.
I get you. What are things that you guys see that you can still improve on that from this game? Are there any things you want to shore up from each other? Anything you want to improve on?
In terms of our survivor communication, I think our survivor communication is pretty well. It's just we intend to talk all over each other sometimes, so that kind of messes up, when we're playing the game or playing against other people, stuff like that. And then in terms of killer, I really can't say anything about killer. I think our killers are fine. I think Kobe's an amazing nurse. It's just me in general. But sucks.
All right. Can we try and get Kobe in here one last time? They said they're having mic issues. That might be resolved by now.
Yo, Kobe, you want Starbucks?
Okay, is my mic working now?
Hey, there you are. Yo, that nurse game was fantastic. So you're a nurse main, right?
Yes, I main survivor, but I've recently tried to play competitive nurse.
That was definitely a competitive nurse style, just absolutely going after survivors and not caring for DS at all. How many hours do you think you've had on nurse so far? That was impressive.
Over console and PC, probably about 1,000 on nurse, probably. Or not even 1,000, probably like 700, 800 on nurse.
That is terrifying.
All my other time is on survivor.
Okay, so you are a nurse and survivor then, and that is the. Do you not dabble in any other killers then?
I used to play Pyramid Head. If I got back into him, I probably could, but I can't really play him right now because I've taken a break from him. Only been playing nurse recently.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that was just oh man, I was not expecting Nurse to come out like that. That is the first time I think we've seen a Nurse this season, and I'm glad that we limit 3 killers because I can't imagine watching Nurses every other game for the rest of the season. It would be so brutal.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I really want to commend you for how well you were reading the survivors as far as like the little mind games. Like I remember watching, I think you were chasing a Meg and she went to double back and you knew she was going to double back and you looked straight at the ground, got that hit. Like that, watching your gameplay as Nurse was very impressive and very, very fun to commentate.
Thank you. I feel like I made a couple mistakes, so it wasn't really my chases. I was missing a couple blinks. I feel like I should have just been downing them faster, like 20-second chases each, because I'm a Nurse, and also I wasn't really guarding my gens. Like I was just going for chases the whole game. I feel like if I would have guarded that mid gen that they popped early game, I feel like I could have 4K'd because I would have had to ruin 3 gen.
Sure, I think we pointed that out too. Is that first gen falling being the center one was really tough to come back from because that center gen is the holy grail of gens on this map for sure.
Yeah, and like we're down 40 points, so and then Complex's killer, I don't know how many points, but we really had to make a comeback, so I was kind of nervous.
Understandable. That's a lot of pressure to put on a killer.
That is a lot of pressure, and you reveled in it. You performed.
Thank you.
Well,
I appreciate it.
I think we should move on and. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
All right, and with that, guys said, Casper, Kopi, Complex, you guys have anything you want to say to each other after that game?
GG's, guys. Like, it was a good game. I'm sorry about the penalties, but I just, all season been seeing people deny penalties. And it's all cool and all, but at the same time, it's like, how are people learning from their mistakes if they don't get penalized for their mistakes?
Yeah, that's completely my fault. I thought I did it, but I guess I didn't save. I don't know. That's completely my fault. And yeah, sorry for, wasting you guys' time, I guess. For
Nah, you didn't waste time. I was just kind of sad. It's just like you guys would have definitely dominated this game a lot more if the penalties didn't come into play. But you guys, I thought it was a good game. I had fun, especially in that Nurse match. Fucking usually PC Nurses are the only Nurses that really scare me. But I do what I can, the best I can usually. So.
GG's to you guys. You guys played well.
GG's, guys.
I'll have a good night.
And with that said, do you guys you have anything you want to say to the stream before we head out?
Anybody that's watching Vigo's Court, appreciate it. Keep watching.
I don't have anything to say besides I hope y'all have a great night.
Well, thank you.
We should clip that and make that the start of an ad. That was so perfectly said.
Oh man.
I'm out.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. That was Death by Pallets versus Siphon. A fantastic match on both sides, just a back and forth. Siphon coming back with the lead, ending up with 49-45 and taking the victory. And with that, that is our show. Thank you all for watching. Check us out on vigoscourt.tv. We got merch. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/vigoscourt. Leave us a follow, leave us a subscribe. Share us with your family if you feel so inclined. We would appreciate it. I'm Little Rugard. This has been American Psycho as our commentator, and we will see you in the next stream tomorrow. I believe it is 7, but it might be moved up possibly. We will see. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening, everybody.
So before the first gen even pops. Trying to bait out a hit there, but not able to get it. Ricky JT able to get away. That was a missed decisive strike. And that is an insta-down.